Hello world, this is Michael G. Nastos for WDEE TV Headline News coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Our stories, the top 5 today, coming to you for this Friday, September 19th, 2014. Our number 1 story today comes from the Ypsilanti Courier and writer Crystal Elliott. An Ypsilanti man accused of stabbing a 6-year-old girl in Ann Arbor in July had a court hearing adjourned on Thursday. Edward Harvey, 24, of Ypsilanti, is facing charges of assault with intent to murder, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder, and first-degree home invasion for an incident related to that July 6th item. Harvey appeared in court briefly Thursday before Washtenaw County Assistant Public Defender Stephen Adams. He requested a 3-week adjournment, according to a report by the Ann Arbor News. Adams said the transcript of a preliminary exam hearing was not finished and requested that the adjournment for that will be completed. According to the Ann Arbor News again, Harvey will return to court for a pretrial hearing at 1:30 p.m. October 9th. He is once again accused of stabbing and beating this 6-year-old girl in her Ann Arbor home. The young girl, whose name is not being released, was discovered in medical distress and bleeding by her grandmother around 5:20 a.m. on Sunday, July 6th. The grandmother immediately called 911, according to the police. Upon arrival of the police and medical personnel, the child was discovered to have suffered blunt force trauma and a stab wound in the area of her trachea and clavicle. More on this story can be found on our local news feeds link on our website online at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, our number 2 story, prosecutors charge a Monroe teen who falsely claimed to be abducted.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to WDEETV.com News, sharing Michigan with the world, coming to you from our studios in downtown Ypsilanti, Michigan. Our second story today comes from the Detroit Free Press with no writer byline given. Monroe County prosecutors say they've charged a young woman with causing a false police report to be filed after she was reported missing and found a day later. Chief Assistant Prosecutor Joseph Costello Jr. says the charge filed Thursday against 18-year-old Haley Turner is a 4-year felony. Authorities say Turner claimed she was abducted August 7th, just north of Ohio in Bedford Township, and was found safe some 16 hours later in the Detroit suburb of Ecorse. Costello says prosecutors were working with Turner's lawyer, Bill Godfroy, for her surrender. The Associated Press left a message Thursday afternoon for Godfroy. Ecorse police say Turner lied about being abducted and also wanted Wayne County prosecutors to charge her. A department spokesperson says Monroe is handling the case. More on this story can be found on the local news feeds link on our website at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, anti-oil groups say that the bill to amend Zoning Enabling Act will only help 5 townships. Come back with us. We move on with more WDEE TV headline news coming to you from our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan for this Friday, September 19th, 2014. And our third story today of Top 5 comes from the Dexter leader and writer Jim Pruitt. A new bill to amend zoning enabling that act would only affect a tiny fraction of the state's township, a group says. A grassroots organization opposed to oil drilling in Scio Township has condemned a new bill designed to help some townships have more control over those oil wells. The legislation, Senate Bill 1076, was introduced September 17th by State Senator Jack Brandenburg and co-sponsored by Senator Tory Rocca and Senator Mike Green, among others. It was referred to the Committee on Natural Resources, Environment, and the Great Lakes. It amends the Zoning and Enabling Act to allow townships with a population of 70,000 or more to have authority to control oil drilling or the extraction of natural resources in their jurisdictions. In a press release September 19th, Citizens for Oil-Free Backyards President Laura Robinson said the legislation falls far short as it will only affect less than 1% of townships statewide. That means for jurisdictions with populations less than 70,000, the current Zoning Enabling Act language that prohibits counties and townships from regulating and controlling oil and gas wells would remain in effect. More on this story, this continuing story, can be found on the local news feeds link on our website, online at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, a singing group visits Ann Arbor and discuss their time in Russia, prisons, and feminism.
At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Welcome back to WDEE TV Headline News at your fingertips, sharing Michigan with the world at your convenience. We're here in our studios in Ypsilanti, Michigan, reporting. Michael G. Nastos here, and our next story comes from the MLive site and writer Jen McKee. Riots didn't come close to breaking out, not in the long, wrapped around Liberty and Division line, nor in the Capacity Plus Michigan theater crowd, like one for Theo Katzman on Thursday evening, despite the presence of 2 founding members of the Russian feminist punk band Pussy Riot, unless, of course, there's such a thing as an admiration riot. As part of U of M's Penny W. Stamp's Distinguished Speaker Series, Nadia Tolen-Kolikova and Masha Alexina, aided by translator Peter Verzilov, were engaged in a 90-minute on-stage discussion moderated by series director Christina Hamilton. Pussy Riot gained notoriety in 2012 when its punk rock critiques of Vladimir Putin and his supporters landed the singers in jail. After human rights groups like Amnesty International drew attention to Pussy Riot's plight, worldwide scrutiny and calls for justice ensued, and the 2 women were released after serving 21 months in jail. They were sentenced to 2 years. Thursday evening's talk began with a few videos showing Pussy Riot performing and protesting and getting beaten by Cossacks as police looked on. In Sochi during the Olympics, and an ironic acknowledgement that although the 2 ladies now fight for the rights of political prisoners all over the world, they also knew that some U of M art and design students were required to come to their talk. More on this very intriguing story can be found on the local news feeds link on our website at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, the new coach of EMU says that football can be special in Ypsilanti. We're back with our fifth story of five here at WDEE TV Headline News online, sharing Michigan with the world. And our final story today comes from the Detroit News and writer Terry Foster. Most college football fans got their first glimpse of Eastern Michigan University football watching players try to knock down a brick wall before the opener against Morgan State. First-year coach Chris Creighton wanted to send a message of togetherness and a work ethic, but the plan backfired when the players swinging the sledgehammers couldn't break through the wall. It pretty much summed up what the program has become, a laughingstock around college football. Still, Creighton is undeterred. He said, "I believe football can be special here." He's never had a losing season in 17 years at Wabash and Drake. He also said, "I believe that. We believe there is a purpose in being here." Eastern Michigan University hasn't had a winning season since 1995 when it finished 6-5. In the past 25 years, Eastern Michigan University is 75-201-1, 59-128-1 in the Mid-American Conference, the third lowest winning percentage at 271 in college football during that span. As for bowl games, Eastern Michigan has been to two, losing to Louisiana Tech in the 1971 Pioneer Bowl and defeating Fresno State in the 1987 California Bowl. This year hasn't started off on the right foot either, as Eastern Michigan enters Saturday's game at Michigan State with a 1-2 record. Creighton added, "You learn more about yourself after your team loses than after winning." He also said, "I believe it is going to be an unbelievable time when we get to the spot where we are worthy of making people proud in terms of the box score on Saturday afternoons if we do it the right way." More on this sports story can be found in our local news feeds link on our website at WDEETV.com. Coming up next, WDEE TV Sports and Entertainment News for this weekend.
At Morgan Taylor, buy two suits, get a third suit free. Morgan Taylor is located at 133 West Michigan Avenue in Ypsilanti. Clothing and accessories for men, women, and children at Morgan Taylor. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 734-221-0296. Ask about layaways and in-store financing. At Morgan Taylor, buy two suits, get a third suit free.
Welcome back for our final segment here on this Friday for WDEE TV News. Thanks to my producer Tony D and Morgan Taylor, our sponsor. In WDEE TV Headline Sports, it's hard to believe, but it's been 20 years since the PBS documentary Baseball was produced by the University of Michigan graduate Ken Burns. It has been shown many times in repeat broadcasts on the MLB network. The latest effort by Burns on the Roosevelt family is drawing rave reviews, but his documentary megafilm about our national pastime stirred up much debate, as did his portraits on jazz and the Civil War. Burns is on the talk show circuit, hopeful that an 11th inning sequel about the sport in recent years can be produced. It's possible Milan Dragway could produce a national champion. Last weekend, Tim Buckley from Rossford, Ohio, represented Team Milan at the 38th Annual Division III ET Bracket Finals for some 20 Midwest drag strips. Out of the many contestants, Buckley won the division crown aboard his Chevrolet-powered Fastbucks rear-engine dragster in the hotly contested Super Pro category, including the quickest and fastest cars, Altereds, and dragsters. The veteran racer, who has always had his family members racing with him, many times successfully in other categories, has won events before, but nothing quite like this in terms of prestige. He will travel to Pomona, California in November for the national runoffs during the NHRA World Finals against other divisional winners from around the country. In WDEE TV Headline music and entertainment news, and we encourage you to check out and support artists in their endeavors. Tonight, it's old-time piano from the veteran Jerry the Wolverine Perrine from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Java Coffee House Cafe in South Lyon. Saturday, you have many choices. Houdang is at the Wolverine State Brewing Company in Ann Arbor. A benefit raising money to fund music lessons for disadvantaged children takes place at the Yellow Barn in Ann Arbor Saturday at 8 p.m. with Tumbao Bravo and Dave Sharp's Secret 7. Funky D Records presents their fall review, It Is Now Fall, at the Magic Stick on Woodward Avenue in Detroit. Sunday is also a big day, headlined by Maruga, Fubar, Doug Cross, and many others at the downtown branch of the Ann Arbor District Library as part of the International Day of Peace. Saxophonist James Carter returns to hometown Detroit for an organ trio show Sunday at the First Unitarian Universalist Church. Tumbao Bravo play Duke Ellington Latin jazz style at the First Baptist Church in Birmingham, and Laith Al-Sadi is at the Ark in Ann Arbor playing his first solo show. Tuesday, it's Equinox Jazz with Rob Crozier, Dale Greisa, and Will Osler at the Wolverine State Brewing Company, and saxophonist Marcus Elliott celebrates his second year every week at Cliff Bells in the shadow of Comerica Park. A reminder, post your events on Facebook. You will receive coverage with us. And that is WDEE TV Headline News for Friday, September 19th, 2014. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the beauty of this world. So long, everybody. Michael G. Nastos signing off.